Savant. Thank you for being here and for that statement today. I'll now turn to the ranking member, Senator Cruz, for his statement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome to all the nominees for being here today. First, we're here to consider Alvin Brown to be a member of the National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB. The NTSB serves the important function of thoroughly investigating transportation incidents to identify their causes and to make recommendations to prevent similar incidents. Both private sector and public sector transportation operators learn from the NTSB investigations and often voluntarily implement its recommendations. The NTSB also provides valuable information for Congress and for federal agencies to consider when developing transportation policy. I believe that Mr. Brown can help the NTSB fulfill its mission. As the mayor of Jacksonville, Florida, he oversaw 7,000 employees and implemented the city's transportation policy. During his tenure, he successfully built a coalition and led a campaign to address transportation safety. He also served as vice chairman of the U.S. Conference of Mayors Transportation Committee, which examined best practices for safety improvements across different transportation modes. On top of that, Mr. Brown has significant experience leading large, complex projects, like the multi-million-dollar project to deepen the Port of Jacksonville. And since last year, he has been serving at the U.S. Department of Transportation. I look forward to hearing from Mr. Brown today, and I would note also that he has earned the respect of Senator Rick Scott, who is a good friend of mine and whose judgment I trust. And Senator Scott has personally commended to me just how capable he believes you are and what an excellent job you will do, and that carries great weight with me. Second, we're here to consider some of the President's nominees to serve as members of Amtrak's Board of Directors. The three nominees here are all experienced public servants. I want to thank Mr. Kosha, Mayor Cruz, and Mr. Sabat for their willingness to oversee our national intercity passenger railroad that American taxpayers subsidize every year with billions of dollars. However, I do have an obligation to raise a concern with the legality of the entire slate of nominees that President Biden has placed before this committee. A bipartisan group of Commerce Committee members has already raised this issue in multiple letters to the President. Unfortunately, he has yet to fix the problem. The Amtrak board is comprised of 8 Senate-confirmed members in addition to its CEO and the Secretary of Transportation. In 2021, Congress passed bipartisan legislation to ensure that Amtrak's board is geographically diverse and not dominated by board members from the Northeast Corridor. As a result, federal law now explicitly prohibits more than 4 of the 8 Senate-confirmed board members from being from the Northeast Corridor. That means that a maximum of 4 Amtrak board members can be from the 8 states plus the District of Columbia that make up the Northeast Corridor. This limitation is important because Amtrak operates in 37 other states, including Texas, through its national network of long-distance and state-supported routes. The Americans who reside outside of the Northeast Corridor and whose taxes generously support Amtrak's operations must have their interests fairly represented on Amtrak's board. Unfortunately, even with the 2 nominees yet to be submitted, 5 of the President's current slate of 6 nominees for the Amtrak board reside in the Northeast Corridor. That is clearly in conflict with federal law. The President needs to fix this legal defect by withdrawing one of the Democratic nominees from the Northeast Corridor. It's the President's decision which nominee to withdraw, but this slate needs to comply with the statute. Having said that, I'm still eager to hear about the vision that each of the 3 nominees here has for Amtrak for responsibly managing our country's national passenger railroad. In recent memory, Amtrak has had challenges. Amtrak has at times failed to operate responsibly, and it's struggled to build partnerships with states that subsidize certain Amtrak services. And during the pandemic, Amtrak awarded large bonuses to executives even while service suffered from the effects of reduced employee numbers, which is unseemly for an entity dependent on taxpayer money. The railroad can and must do better. Amtrak received $22 billion in the 2021 infrastructure law and will likely receive billions more in discretionary federal funding, including for the spectacularly expensive Gateway program between New Jersey and New York City. Having an Amtrak board of directors that provides effective management consistent with congressional direction is more important now than ever. I look forward to hearing from each of these nominees what you would do to ensure such management. Thank you, Madam Chair.